All right, in this video, let's talk about type conversion. So in the previous video, we have seen how we can convert the string integer, right? Just by using this int function. Okay, similarly, we will actually come across many scenarios where we will have to convert the data or the input. Okay, so that's why we use this technique called type conversion. We will actually take several examples how on what scenarios we will have to convert the data types. So first thing, we'll actually take a scenario of converting a string to an integer. So it's just like what we did in the previous one. Okay, but this one will be a little bit of a real life use case. Okay, let's actually take the example of calculating someone's age from their birth date. Okay, birth year, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'll say calculating someone's age from their birth year. Okay, so let's say we have a birth year as a as an input. Okay, so let's say birth year, we'll take a birth year input from the user itself. So we'll say enter your birth year. Okay, enter your birth year. I'll just put one colon and space. Okay, so here the user will actually enter his birth year. So the whatever he enter here will be of a type string. So to find out the age from the birth year, we'll actually compare it with the current year. So that's why the age should be integer here. Okay, so that's why I'll say birth year again. Birth year is equal to int of whatever birth year he put. Okay, you can also use like this, as I said in the previous one, right? Simply say birth year like this. It is also possible, but this one also possible. Now let's say current year is equal to 2025. All right, 2025. And now let's say age is equal to current year minus birth year. Current year minus birth year. Now if you say age, just say your age is, you can simply say comma age. Okay, you don't have to necessarily use concatenation here. Just simply put comma and just pass this age, and it will actually print the proper sentence. So let's run it. And oh, I'm sorry, I should actually comment it out. Let me clear it. Okay, enter your birth year. I'll say 1950, and you see your age is 75. So it is actually calculating the age properly. That's because we have converted the type of this input. Okay, so what if you don't use this type conversion? Okay, so okay, I'll just comment this. Okay, so this will be a string, right? So now if you just say just run this, but your 1950, oh, I'm sorry. All right, anyway, we got the type error. That's because unsupported operand, right? Int and string, we cannot we cannot use string. I think this is string, right? So if you want to see that, print type of birth year, right? Type of birth year, and you will actually, I'll just comment them and run it. 1950, and you can see it is string. Okay, so that's why we have to convert the type before we manipulate the data. Okay, so I'll just revert it back, and so this should be working fine. All right, similarly we can take another example like converting a string to a float, right? So I'll just say calculate the price after tax. Okay, calculate the price after tax. I'll say price is equal to input, enter the price of a product, and then this should be float. Okay, so this should be float. I'll say float here, float of input. So whatever you enter here will be, will be considered as a float input. So that's because we want to calculate the tax, right? So tax rate is equal to, let's say, 0.1, that is 10%. So now total price of a product will be price. The price is nothing but the value that that is being entered by the user, and the tax rate, right? Price plus price into price plus price into tax rate. Okay, now you'll see print total tax, I mean total price. Yeah, total price. So now let's again run it. Enter the price of a product, let's say 100, and you see the product is 110 after tax. Okay, so this one is actually a float value. Now we can also convert a tuple into a list. This is useful when you want to modify a tuple of items. Okay, as you know, tuples are immutable, which means tuples cannot be overridden, right? You cannot modify the tuple, but in some cases you may want to modify the tuple. So in that case, what you need to do, you need to convert this tuple into a list. So after making it a list, right, then you can modify it. Why? Because lists are mutable, right? You first have to make it a list, and then you modify the list. Okay, so if that is the case, then what we can do, we can simply say items. So we have items, let's say this is let's create a tuple, and apple comma instead of saying items, let's say fruits. Okay, fruits is equal to apple, banana, and let's say orange. So now this one is actually a tuple. Okay, in the previous one also, I think I have shown you that tuples cannot be modified because they are immutable. So somehow we want to add one more fruit to this fruits tuple. Then what we need to do, we first need to create, make them, make it a list, right? So I'll say fruits list is equal to, simply say list of this fruits. Okay, simply just call this list function and put this tuple inside the list. Then this will actually become the fruits list. Now if you say print fruits list, right, fruit list, and run it, and you can see this is now apple, banana, and list, orange. So this is actually a list. Now we want to modify the list, right? We wanted to modify the list. Let's say fruits list dot append. Okay, we have a function in tuple, in list called tuple, and let's say um, maybe cherry. Okay, so now if you again print fruits list, you can see apple, banana, orange, and cherry. So that's how you convert a tuple to a list. All right. So similarly, we can also uh, convert a list to a tuple, right? This is just opposite of what we have done right now, right? So for example, we want to freeze a list to prevent further modification. As you know, list is mutable, right? Which means list can be modified, but sometimes we don't want anyone to modify this list, right? So in that case, what you can do, you can simply make that list as a tuple, right? Very simple, right? Because list tuple cannot be modified, right? So that's why, let's say mutable list, let's say mutable list is equal to we have a let's say Python, Django, and React. I'm sorry, I'm using sometimes single quotation, double quotation, anything, but all are same. Okay, you don't have to necessarily use double quotation. Single quotation is also the string itself. All right, so we have a mutable list now. Now if you want to make, if you want to freeze it, right? So then what I mean by freeze is just you don't want this list to be modified. Okay, so in that case you can simply say immutable, immutable tuple. Okay, immutable tuple is equal to simply one more thing. So this is just a variable name. Okay, so you can do, you can write anything. Just pass this mutable list inside the tuple and this will become tuple. Okay, so now if you say print immutable tuple, you can see here, just identify this list and tuple with this parenthesis and square bracket. Now this is square bracket, right? We had now this one is the parenthesis and this is a square bracket. So we had a list and then we converted the type of this list to a tuple. Okay, so that's how you convert the type. So next we can also convert the number to a string. Previously we saw how to convert a string to a number, right? So now you can say, now you can actually convert a number to a string. So this is easy. Let's say we have a age 20, right? We have age 20 and this is the number now. Okay, so this is the number and maybe we want to actually concatenate a number with a text. Okay, so for example, let's say message is equal to you are plus age, right? So this is going to give you the error, but I'll tell you what to do. Years old. Okay, so we have a age and we want to format a message, you are 20 years old, but this is going to give you the error because this is string, these two are strings and this is integer, right? So you cannot concatenate integer with strings, right? So if you do that, then you will see the error. Just type error, can only concatenate str, not int, right? So in this case, what you do, simply convert the type, right? Now this age will become a string. Okay, so now save the file and now again run it and you can see you are 20 years old. Okay, so that's one of the use case that you may want to convert a number to a string. And last but not the least, we can try to convert a boolean to an integer. Okay, so as you know, boolean is nothing but true and false, but if you sometimes you may want to convert it to a number 1 and 0, right? Usually in programmatically we call 1 is a true and 0 is false, right? So let's say is member. Okay, so like for example, the use case can be if the member is true, then we will give him the discount. Okay, if not member, then there is no discount. Okay, so we can take that example, is member is equal to true. Okay, so let's now consider discount is equal to maybe 5 into you see, if you just pass this is member, then it is going to give you the error because this 5 is integer now, right? So you cannot multiply 5 with the boolean, correct? So that's why you simply say int is member, okay? So what will happen, this is member will become 1. Okay, 5 into 1. So now you can simply say your discount is, simply pass discount. You can see your discount is 5 or 500 or anything. Okay, so this is just one simple use case, but if you want to see what is inside the is member? Let me print this. Print int of is member. Int of is member. Then you can see here 1, right? So this is actually converting to a 1. So if it is false, then you'll see the discount is 0 and it has become 0, right? So that's why you can actually convert a boolean to an integer. All right, so that's about type conversion. I think this is enough for you at this stage. Okay, in the future you will, as you progress, you will learn more and more about type conversion, but this one is actually a very important topic in Python. You will most or more often you will use this kind of operations in while while making a real project.